Shalom. I want to start off by giving all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem HaKodash, and Shani Kabad, Gadavala Rekwab, the Kwangim Nawa, Washalayakim Nawa, which is double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and Shalom, Wabarakim Labakayam Shayashirala, and that's peace and blessings to the elect of Israel, and as always to the confusion of faces, meaning those who look like the other nations, but whose spirits resonate with the truth, and that believe in that faith in Yahweh, the Heavenly Father, and Yahushai, the only begotten Son. So to all of you brothers, no matter how you look, no matter what so-called color of skin you are, if you believe and have the faith, then I want to say peace and blessings to you all. So I just wanted to get into a quick topic concerning, this is not our rest. And I was actually planning on doing a having a different video topic than what I'm doing right now, but I got a text message earlier while I'm driving home from work today, and one of my friends asked me if I wanted to go to Paris this November, and so obviously I made up some dumb excuse and said no. And then right before I go to make my first video topic today that I had through the Spirit, then one of my old friends calls me, and we get to talking a little bit, and after I finished speaking with him, then it occurred to me, he was trying to get me to come down and see him where he lives too, and he's out of state. You know what I mean? So with that being said, the video topic that occurred to me, which is what you see on the screen, is really dealing with the fact that you can't forget that we weren't brought over here to have fun. We were brought over here in slave ships to serve captivity. We were brought over here to serve captivity for disobeying the laws, statutes, and commandments of our power, being Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai, Yahweh the Heavenly Father. Salaki about that. Yahweh the Heavenly Father, Ba'Hashem means in the name of, and of course Yahushai is the Messiah, the only begotten Son. But we disobeyed the covenant that we made with our power, our Heavenly Father Yahweh, you see. And so we weren't brought over here to be vacationing 24/7 all the time and having fun, going out all the time and hanging out with all these friends in the world, and flying in and out of the country, so on and so forth. I mean, don't get me wrong, there is some kind of a balance to this thing. You can't just do the work 24/7 all day long, read and study all the time. There is a proper balance. We watch TV, we go out to the movie theaters, we go bowling, we hang out with family and friends and things like that, but you can never keep it out of your mind. But let me word it like this: you must always keep it in your mind that the reason why we came over here is to serve captivity. We weren't brought over here to have fun. Okay, so if you have to, and I'm going to say the word lie, if you have to lie to these people, really supplant these people to make up some excuse as to why you can't hang out with them, then that's a righteous thing. I told my friend, look, I just don't have the time to go to Paris. I can't do it because I can't take off from work, and I left it at that. You know what I mean? We're not in the time to do that, especially because of all hell could break loose any day. That's the spirit that I'm in. That's the spirit that we should all be in, So this is Baruch chapter 3. I'm going to start reading at verse 7. And it says, "And for this cause thou hast put thy fear in our hearts." Why? Because the book of Sirach, the 19th chapter, says the fear of the Lord is the first step to being accepted of him. Okay? "And for this cause thou hast put thy fear in our hearts, to the intent that we should call upon thy name and praise thee in our captivity," which we're in the land of our captivity right now. "For we have called to mind all the iniquity of our forefathers through the Spirit that sinned before thee. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us, for a reproach and a curse," which is why you have confusion of faces, meaning those Israelites that look like other nations. Why? It says, "where thou hast scattered us." Okay, continuing on. "For a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments, according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our power." You see, that's why we're over here in the land of our captivity, because we disobeyed the covenant that we made with our Heavenly Father. Verse 9 says, hear Yashar Allah, which is the ancient Hebrew for Israel. So hear Yashar Allah, the commandments of life. Give ear to understand wisdom. How happeneth it, Yashar Allah, that thou art in thine enemy's land, that thou art waxen old in a strange country, that thou art defiled with the dead, that thou art counted with them that go down to the grave? You see? And we are counted good as dead, because if we're over here serving captivity and we don't know our power, then we're as good as dead. We're counted as them that go down to the grave. You see? But now we're made alive through coming back to the understanding through the Spirit, calling to mind, let me say that, calling to mind through the Spirit our transgressions. And when we call to mind our transgressions, that comes with an understanding that we have a job to do. We were sent over here with a purpose, to serve captivity, and then to, once the Lord sprinkled His Spirit upon us and we awaken, those dry bones now have life upon them. We have a job to do, which is to preach this word and to bid for the marriage, bid the elect to the marriage. Okay, let me slow down. So okay, that's it on that. Now I want to jump over to the book of Baruch, chapter 4, and I'm going to start reading at verse 15 through 18 maybe, and it reads, for he hath brought a nation upon them from afar, or from far, a shameless nation, and of a strange language, who neither reverence old man nor pity child. Why? Because we spoke Hebrew. We spoke Hebrew. We didn't grow up speaking, or Salakia, we did grow up speaking English, but we didn't speak English. We didn't speak Spanish. We didn't speak all these other languages in which we're speaking right now. We spoke Hebrew. And this nation from afar, who had a strange language that we didn't know, that did not reverence old man nor pity child, that's the so-called white man whose biblical nationality are the Edomites. You see? Now verse 16 says, these have carried away the dear beloved children of the widow, and left her that was alone desolate without daughters. But what can I, that's referring to Israel, but what can I help you? For he that brought these plagues upon you will deliver you from the hands of your enemies. You see? Let me read it again, verse 18. For he that brought these plagues upon you will deliver you from the hands of your enemies. And what is it referring to when it says these plagues? It's referring to all the curses that you can read about in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, starting at verse 16 through 68. You see? That's all the plagues that came upon us. And that's why we were sent over here to America. And we can't forget that. Yeah, the Lord may bless you with, a few tangible things here and there, but you have to just pray to the Lord and say, Tawada for giving me this. Through the Spirit, I just got an apartment not too long ago, a few months ago. A brother may get a new car, who knows? A brother may get, some extra money to buy some shoes or some clothes, whatever it may be, a new laptop, a new phone, whatever it may be. The Lord is just blessing you with that. That doesn't mean that you run willy-nilly and you're in this joyful spirit and everything is okay and you're just living this calm and relaxed and peaceful life. No. At the end of the day, if you're a part of the elect, the Lord is going to chastise you anyway, and we go through these chastisements right now so that we're not chastised with the world. You see? We receive chastisement to keep us low, to keep us down, to keep us at a lower estate, so that we always remember Micah 2:10, that this is not our rest. You see? And why we were sent over here. And now once again, we have a job to do. And you have to keep that in mind always, 24/7, walking in the Spirit. Remembering your whole purpose, your being, your essence of living. Okay? So now I want to end off with Salakia. I want to end off with the book of Deuteronomy. Let me bring it up here. Salakia, I don't have it up. I should have. Deuteronomy chapter 30. And I'm going to read verses 1 through 3. And it says, and it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse, in which the curse did come upon us, which I have set before thee, And thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations, whither the Lord thy power hath driven thee. And absolutely, we're calling them to mind right now. And shalt return unto the Lord thy power, and shalt obey his voice, according to all that I commanded thee this day, thou and thy children with all thine heart, meaning lab, with all your mind, and with all thy soul. Verse 3, that then the Lord thy power. So once you do all those things, once you call to mind the blessing and the curse in the land of your captivity, you and your children, verse 3 says that then the Lord thy power will turn thy captivity, meaning he's going to come back and get us out of captivity. That then the Lord thy power will turn thy captivity, and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations whither the Lord thy power hath scattered thee. You see, so once again, just reinforcing the point that we have a job to do. We were not sent over here to have fun. This is not our rest. We're not over here to be vacationing every single week, to going out to the club every single week, getting drunk, partying, and doing all these things. No, we have a job to do. Once again, there's a balance. So of course, we have a little bit of fun here and there. We can't be over righteous and kill ourselves and destroy ourselves, because then we're not a profitable servant. But the point being that we need to remember to stay humble, low, showing humility, serving. We're in this ministry for a reason, in which the word minister means to serve anyway. You see? So let's go into the Hebrew really quickly. I wanted to look up the word. Let's read it again. It says that then the Lord thy power will turn thy captivity and have compassion. Here we go. What's that word for compassion? We have racham, compassion, racham. It says to love deeply, have mercy. You see? And how is the Lord having mercy upon us right now? Well, one, he's given us his truth. That's mercy already. The Lord has given us his truth. We did nothing to get this truth, And truth be told, we did nothing to deserve it. There we go. I'm trying to think about my words, Salaki, about that. We did nothing to deserve it. We did nothing to get it. And that's having mercy right now. It says, be compassionate, have tender affection, have compassion. We're being reconciled back to our power by Yahweh Shai. And that word reconciled basically means to be made friendly again. And that's the Lord loving us deeply, or having mercy, or being compassionate upon us. You see? And that's the point right there. So I pray that this video is edifying to the elect. And I want to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kodash, and double honor to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught us the truth and who rule well in these times. And peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom.